My name is Maria. I had a good job. I worked in a big office. I liked my job. It was interesting. I met many people. I had a nice house. It was not very big, but it was my home. I had a small garden with flowers, red flowers, yellow flowers. I loved my flowers. My life was good. I was happy. I thought my life was safe. I thought nothing bad could happen. I worked hard. I paid my bills. I saved a little money. I thought everything was okay. Then, one day, everything changed. I lost everything. It happened so fast. I remember that day. It was a Tuesday. The sky was blue. The sun was shining. I went to work like any other day. I said hello to my friends at the office. I sat at my desk. I turned on my computer. Then my boss called me. He asked me to come to his office. His face was serious. I felt a little nervous. I went into his office. He asked me to sit down. He said, "Maria, I have some bad news." My heart started to beat fast. He told me the company was not doing well. He said they had to close my department. He said I did not have a job anymore. I could not believe it. I was shocked. No job? What would I do? I felt like the floor was moving. I said, "But my work is good." He said, "Yes, Maria, your work is very good. This is not about you. It is about the company." I did not understand. I felt confused. I went back to my desk. I looked at my computer. My friends looked at me. They looked sad. I packed my things in a small box. My pens, my photos, my little plant. It was a very small box. My whole work life in a small box. I said goodbye to my friends. It was hard. I walked out of the office. The sun was still shining. But for me, the world felt dark. I went home. My nice house. I sat on my sofa. I looked around. How will I pay for this house? How will I buy food? I felt so scared. Really scared. That was just the beginning. Losing my job was the first step. Soon, other bad things happened. I could not find a new job quickly. I sent my CV to many places. No one called me back, or they said, "Sorry, we have no jobs now." My small savings started to disappear. I used the money for food. I used it for bills. Soon the money was gone. I could not pay for my house anymore. I received a letter. It said I had to leave my house. My beautiful house. My little garden with flowers. I cried. I cried a lot that day. I had to sell my furniture, my bed, my table, my chairs. I sold them for very little money, just enough to eat for a few more weeks. I packed my clothes in a suitcase. I looked at my empty house. It felt cold. I closed the door. I had no home. I had lost my job. I had lost my house. I felt I had lost everything. I felt so alone. I did not know where to go. My family lived far away, in another country. I could not ask them for help. They did not have much money either. I had some friends, but I felt ashamed. Did not want to tell them I had no home. I thought, Maria, you are strong. You can do this. But inside, I felt very weak. That first night was very hard. I found a small, cheap room in a guest house. It was just one room, very small, with a small bed and a small window. It was not my home. I lay on the bed. I looked at the ceiling. I thought about my life. My good life before. Why did this happen to me? What did I do wrong? I felt so sad, so lost. It's okay to feel scared, you know, when big things change. I was very scared. The next day, I knew I had to do something. I could not stay in that room forever. It cost money, too. I needed to find work, any work. I walked around the city. I looked in shop windows. I saw a sign in a small cafe. Help wanted. I went inside. The cafe was busy. A woman was working there. She looked tired, but kind. Her name was Sarah. I asked her about the job. She looked at me. I was wearing my old office clothes. They looked too fancy now. She asked, "Do you have experience in a cafe?" I said, "No, but I learn fast. I will work very hard." I think she saw something in my eyes. Maybe she saw I was desperate. She said, "Okay, you can start tomorrow. We need someone to wash dishes and clean tables." Washing dishes, cleaning tables. It was very different from my office job, but it was a job. I felt a little bit of hope, just a little. The next day I went to the cafe. I worked hard, very hard. My hands hurt from washing dishes. My back hurt from cleaning. The work was tiring, but I did it. At the end of the day, Sarah gave me some money. It was not much money, but it was my money. I earned it. I felt a little proud. I found a cheaper room to rent. It was very small, even smaller than the guest house room, but it was a place to sleep. I worked at the cafe every day. Some days were good. Some days were very hard. Sometimes customers were rude. Sometimes I made mistakes. I dropped a plate once. I felt so bad. But Sarah was kind. She said, "It's okay, Maria. Everyone makes mistakes." Her kindness helped me a lot. You know, sometimes a small kind word can change your whole day. I started to learn more things at the cafe. Sarah taught me how to make coffee. She taught me how to take orders. I liked talking to the customers. Most of them were nice. I made a few friends at the cafe, other workers. They were good people. They also worked hard. My life was very different now. I did not have a big office. I did not have a nice house. I wore an apron, not a smart suit. My hands were rough from work, not soft. But I was surviving. I was working. I was paying for my small room and my food. It was a hard life, but it was my life. One day, an old man came to the cafe. He came every day. He always ordered black coffee and a newspaper. He was quiet. He always smiled a little. One day, he saw me looking sad. I was thinking about my old life. I missed my garden. He said to me, "Young lady, you look sad." Today, I was surprised he spoke to me. I said, "Oh, it's nothing. just a little tired." He smiled. He said, "Life can be hard, like a strong coffee, bitter sometimes, but it can also make you strong." His words stayed with me. Bitter sometimes, but it can also make you strong. I thought about that a lot. My life was bitter now, but maybe I was becoming stronger. I did not even realize it. I learned to live with less. I learned that money is not everything. My old life, I had many things. Nice clothes, nice furniture. Now, I had very little, but I had food. I had a roof over my head. I had a job. I learned to appreciate small things: a sunny day, a good cup of coffee, a smile from a customer. These small things made me happy. I still missed my old life sometimes. I missed my house. I missed my flowers, but I was not so sad anymore. I was starting over. It was slow. It was difficult. But I was doing it. One evening, after work, I was walking home. I saw a small shop. It sold plants and flowers. I stopped. I looked at the flowers in the window. They were beautiful. Red flowers, yellow flowers, just like my old garden. I felt a little pain in my heart. But then I saw a very small plant. It was in a tiny pot. It was not very beautiful. It looked a bit weak, but it was cheap. I had a little money saved. I went inside. I bought the small plant. I took it to my small room. I put it on the windowsill. It was just a small plant, but it was something alive, something to care for. I watered it every day. I talked to it. It started to grow. New leaves came out. It made my small room feel a little bit like home. It was a small step, but it felt like a big step for me. It showed me that even in a small space, with little things, you can find beauty. You can find hope. You can always find hope, even when things are very dark. You just have to look for it. Months passed. Then, a year passed. I was still working at the cafe. I became good at my job. Sarah trusted me. Sometimes she let me manage the cafe when she was busy. I saved a little money. Very slowly, I started to think about my future. What did I want to do? Did I want to work in a cafe forever? It was a good job, an honest job. But I missed using my mind like in my old office job. I liked challenges. One day I saw an advertisement for a course. It was an evening course to learn new computer skills, skills that could help me find an office job again. The course cost money. I had to use my small savings. I was scared. What if I failed? What if it was a waste of money? But then I thought about the old man's words. Life can be hard, but it can also make you strong. I was stronger now. I could try. So I signed up for the course. It was difficult. I worked at the cafe during the day. I went to the course in the evening. I was tired, very tired. I studied late at night in my small room. My little plant was my only company. Sometimes I wanted to give up. I thought, this is too hard. I cannot do it. But then I remembered how I felt when I lost everything. I did not want to feel that way again. So, I kept going. I studied hard. And you know what? I passed the course. I got a certificate. I felt so proud of myself. Prouder than when I got my old office job. Because this time I earned it through so much difficulty. It showed me I could learn new things. I could achieve goals, even when life was tough. This is a big lesson, I think. You are always able to learn. You are never too old to learn something new. With my new certificate, I started to look for office jobs again. It was not easy. Many people were looking for jobs. I sent many applications. I went for some interviews. Some interviews were not good. I felt nervous, but I kept trying. I did not give up. One day, I got a call. It was from a small company. They needed someone to help in their office. The job was not as big as my old job. The pay was not as high, but it was an office job. A chance. I went for the interview. I told them about my old job. I told them about working in the cafe. I told them about my computer course. I was honest. I told them I had lost everything and was starting over. The manager listened carefully. At the end of the interview, she smiled. She said, "Maria, I like your honesty, and I like your spirit. You worked hard in the cafe. You studied hard. You did not give up. That is the kind of person we want here." She offered me the job. I could not believe it. I wanted to cry. But this time, tears of happiness. I said, "Yes, thank you. I will work very hard." I started my new office job. It felt good to be in an office again, to use my brain in that way. The work was interesting. The people were nice. I still lived in my small room for a while, but now I was saving more money. I worked hard. I learned new things at my job. My little plant was still on my windowsill. It was bigger now, stronger, like me. After some time, I saved enough money to rent a small apartment. It had 2 rooms, a small kitchen, and a small balcony. The first thing I did was buy some more plants for my balcony. Red flowers, yellow flowers. It was not as big as my old house, but it was my home. I made it cozy. I made it mine. I felt happy. Truly happy. It was a different kind of happiness than before. Before, my happiness depended on my job, my house, my things. Now my happiness came from inside. It came from knowing I was strong. It came from knowing I could overcome difficulties. It came from knowing I could start over. Losing everything was the hardest thing in my life. It was painful. It was scary, but it also taught me so much. It taught me what is truly important. It is not money. It is not a big house. It is strength. It is kindness. It is hope. It is the people who help you. Like Sarah from the cafe. Like the old man with his wise words. It is the small things. A flower growing. A kind smile. I am Maria. I lost everything, but I found myself. I found a new life. A simpler life, maybe. But a good life. A strong life. I still work hard. I still save money. but I am not afraid anymore. I know that if bad things happen, I can face them. I can start over again and again if I have to, because I am strong, stronger than I ever thought. And you know what? You are strong too. Everyone has strength inside them. Sometimes life is hard, very hard. You might feel lost. You might feel scared. You might feel like you have lost everything. But please, remember my story. Remember that you can find hope. You can find kindness. You can find your own strength. You can start over. It takes time. It takes courage. It takes work. But you can do it. Just take one small step, and then another. Like buying a small plant. Like learning a new skill. Like asking for help. These small steps can lead to big changes. My life is good now. I have my job. I have my small apartment with my flowers. I have friends. Sometimes I visit Sarah at the cafe. We laugh and talk. Sometimes I think about the old man. I hope he is okay. I learned that everything is not about what you have. Everything is about who you are and who you can become. So, if you are going through a hard time, please don't give up. Believe in yourself. You are stronger than you think. You can start over, and you can build a new life. A life that is meaningful. A life that is yours. Keep going. You can do this. My name is Maria, and this is my story of starting over. I hope it helps you. I hope it gives you a little bit of courage. Life is a journey, with ups and downs, but every step, even the hard ones, can teach us something and make us who we are. Thank you for listening to my story. Remember to be kind to yourself and never, ever lose hope.